My first question is, you've been in the music industry for a long time now. What's been your favourite time period?
I think the 80s, I suppose. It was times when it gets a lot of knocking for, big hair and big puffy jackets and all that. But there were some great songs written and some really good bands around. And I think also it was the era of MTV coming in. So you had to make all these friggin' videos to keep the people happy. So you had to be on your mark on both counts.
That's my favourite song basically is I Died in Your Arms Tonight, just because basically, obviously, I heard just playing, obviously, if you heard of the game Vice City on GTA?
Yeah, it was...
I heard just playing them there, I was like, wow.
Yeah, they last, I think, and I think also with Cutting Crew and Died in Your Arms, Lewis, that because it's not very keyboards based, it's a guitar band, we were half Canadian, half English, that because of that, it hasn't aged quite as much, so it sort of stands around a bit, I don't mean in a posh way, but it's much more timeless,
Yeah. My next question is, you started opening for Slade. How scary was that for your 18-year-old when you were 18?
Incredible. Their manager signed me when I was working in a theatre, a hospital theatre, and he said, "What are you doing next Thursday?" And I said, "Okay, what's that?" And he said, "You can come on the road with Slade touring Poland." So that was easy. Playing in Poland, you get pretty Polish girls coming up, throwing flowers at you because you're just some English kid,
Yeah.
And then Noddy said, "Do you want to, could we do the British tour with us?" And I did, and on the first night in Hull, I got hit by a bottle.
Oh, wow.
But of course they had skinhead following back then, so it was a baptism of fire.
Yeah, as your day goes, basically, isn't it?
Sorry?
That's just how the day goes, isn't it? You just walk out, you just get glass.
I know. You have to have a shield.
Yeah, you do these days. You have to have a shield. It's the 30th anniversary of what is arguably your most famous song, I Just Died in Your Arms. Does it feel like it was that long ago?
Well, I suppose so. I mean, I've never stopped since. I've been lucky, any youngsters getting into the music business out there. 30 years is a long time, but as long as you can, don't piss on people on the way up, as they say, because they'll be waiting for you on the way back down. and just keep your head, I write songs, so I've been lucky. I write for other people, and just try and move with the times as much as you can. So yeah, I've had a great ride.
As I was saying about GTA, I was going back to one of the questions I've got here. I Died in Your Arms featured in the soundtrack of obviously Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Have you ever played the game? If you mind me asking, what do you think of it?
I'll tell you a funny story about that.
How we then?
Right, when Sony, my publishers, got in touch with me about it, 20 years ago, because it was in one of the first ever versions of that game, they said, it's a new game that's being invented. It's going to probably earn you quite a bit of money. Not sure, but it's one of those games that could take off. So I wrote to them and I said, has it got any violence or sex and violence in it? Because, I want to be a bit careful.
It's Grand Theft Auto.
And they said, no. So So I said, okay, then go ahead.
Well, you're being lied to. That's good. It's got all sorts of violence in it.
There's tons of it, and I have played it a few times with mates, yeah. But anyway, funny story, you say yes, you say no, but, in fact, that really introduced my song to a whole new generation of people, probably like yourself, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy playing the game. Just when I heard the song, I was like, I've heard that song somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it somewhere, and then I'll see,
It was when I was shooting up somebody in the streets of Harlem.
I was driving around, I still can't drive now. You're teaming up with the upcoming group called Blurred Vision. What advice would you give? What advice would you give them?
Well, we're on stage together, so it's kind of in homage to this 30th anniversary. It's across the generations. They're three young Canadian lads. They're great writers, great players. Hardest ever rock band that Cutting Crew will be playing on the same stage as with. So I can't give them much advice apart from, I think, probably avoid the shitty beers and drink the good ones.
Your music has been featured in a lot of media, such as Rock Band 3. You've never been kissed and the hot tub time machine. Do you have a personal favourite in the use?
I'm going to try and remember. None of those. There was one called Am I going to remember what it's called? Nah. But if your listeners might be able to write in and tell you, it featured Russ Noble, you know, the comedian.
Yeah.
He was playing a clown that had been taken the mickey out of when he was a boy. So what he does is he goes around Stitches. It's called Stitches.
Right.
He goes around parties, children's parties, takes one of them into the back room and cuts their top of their head off and eats their brain to Died in Your Arms tonight.
All right, that sounds very nice.
So it's good morning listening.
Yeah, it's good morning listening there. Right, if anyone wants to eat your brain, stitch them back up. Is there any advice you'd give to the new artists looking to break into the music scenes?
Well, it's very different from when I did it, because back in those days you could make an album and it could sell one copy and the record company would give you another go. They'd probably give you about 3 albums before they decided to dump you or to, you had a hit. So it was a lot, I won't say easier, but it was kinder in those days. With social media now, it's all a totally different industry. I hate the industry, frankly. I think a lot of the people that love music have moved out of music, and it's run now by business people. I think like people like yourselves on the radio are great, that you love your music. But a lot of the big head honchos in record companies, I don't have a lot of time for. So the young bands, always write your own songs, always try and keep your publishing to yourself, because that's the only way you'll ever make any money. And gig, and have a great Facebook page.
My next question is, if you could go back in time and give yourself advice, what would it be and why?
What would it be and why?
Is that a difficult question?
Don't trust the experts.
Don't trust the experts.
There you go. You can read into that what you like.
And what are your plans for the Cutting Crew? What's the plans for your future for the Cutting Crew?
Well, let me get the plug in, of course, because that's why I'm talking to you. And that's we're playing at the Ark in Stockton this Friday. And I want to tell people that if you're coming, great. If you're not coming, okay. But if you're on the edge and thinking, well, maybe not. We played our opening show 2 nights ago, and in Cutting Crew in 30 years have never played in a much more powerful, rocking version. You'll get Died in Your Arms, you'll get One for the Mockingbird, you'll get the Blurred Vision stuff. So that's on Friday night. We're going to South America, we're going to America. We've got a heavy rock festival in Crete with bands like Therapy and Jesus' Regret or something. So we're going to have to put our leathers on that day.
Yeah, I think you might have to put all your leathers on. And
the shields again.
Yeah, and the shield, yeah. But just make sure you wear one for your head this time as well. You don't want to get glassed again.
Exactly.
Right.
That's a really busy year. I'm writing again with other people, and hopefully get up to Teesside again very soon.
Right. Cheers, Nick, for that. Okay, just end the interview there and just basically play one of your favourite songs.
I would say, I'm trying to guess the sort of style of your radio station, but for me, they were always the biggest band when I was growing up, and they were the band that made me want to be in a band, and it's Black Dog by Led Zeppelin.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Mom, it's at the video. Also, just want to say, if you come on Friday night, you put your name in the hat, and you can win a crate of beer every month for a year.
All right. Well, you're doing the same thing that Blurred Vision are doing.
That's because we're with them. It's all.
All right, so you're doing it all together, just teaming up.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So there's lots of beer to be won as well.
All right, it will be heavy night then, wouldn't it?
Thank you, Lewis.
Right, cheers.
All the best. Bye bye.